Go for round 2. You might still need to turn the music down. It's hard to tell with the music because on a lot of the recordings or streams, I can't hear it afterwards, but no one tells me there's no music during the stuff. So. And I can't have yet, another web browser open to watch that. There we go. We should be pinging live here in a second.
Just trying to get my devices to cooperate.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got about 2 seconds.
2 seconds of what?
Cooperation.
Oh, cool. Love it. I think things will be okay now, although I'm very curious. Why is only part of that lighting up? Weird. Ooh, I can hear it.
We're good.
Okay. Cool. Music's good?
Good.
Okay. Well, after that fun disaster.
Yay, updates.
Yay! I've been putting that one off for a while, but I finally decided I might as well. I have updates to do for my computer still, but
Gross.
I completed the big ones, but I like driver updates and stuff I need to do. I didn't want to do that before this game because that always messes things up. Naked cat. Naked cat.
Recently bathed cat.
Oh, so
Yay.
he's not sticky or stinky.
No. That water was so gross, though. Let's put it that way.
I'm sure.
You don't want to know the specifics.
No, I don't.
Not particularly.
That's why I choose to have fluffy animals and not naked ones. You missed the opportunity for Chance to have one.
For him?
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, that and 2 Doberman.
Oh, I forgot that he had the cat then.
Mm-hmm. If I recall correctly, it mostly lurks in his office. Yes.
Yes. He has a special built room for it.
Nice. Of course he does.
Because why not?
Well, you tell me, Buttons.
Ready when you are.
Okay. I need to redo that one.
It'll be fine.
Ooh, we are in slightly different spots. Gross. And I will fix that, but go ahead.
Good evening, stream, and welcome back to Midnight on the Circle. I am your storyteller for the evening, Buttons, And joining me, I have Dengle.
How's it going? Playing Chance the Adventurer.
And Faye's doing a thing. But she is playing Layla, the
Oh.
true Bruja. And we shall give her just a moment to do that. And while that is going on, heads up, this is a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. So as a World of Darkness production, it will have some issues that might be triggering to some people. If that happens to be the case, please do step away and take care of your mental health, physical health, emotional or spiritual health, whatever the case may be. That is far more important than a production. We do occasionally do recaps, most of the time, when we remember to do them. So if you do step away and miss something, there will be that to help you catch up. With that said, let's go ahead and get into a recap of the previous episode, the first episode of Midnight on the Circle.
So we all got letters saying that the prince was disappointed and needed to... Wait, no. We just were summoned by the prince. Chance and Layla were on time properly. Ted, Nen's character, was fashionably late, which is a great start. Turns out there was some weird people decided to set fire to a warehouse. Don't know what that's all about. And we needed to go interrogate some of the guards that worked there. One of which was already interrogated. We didn't have to cover that one. Another one we found at their home under the weather. The last one we found their apartment, but somebody decided to sloppily paint the bathroom red, I think was the line that I used. But also during the search, we found an address book and a computer, or just a computer charger. We didn't find the computer. Which in that address book got a number for one Azzy, which we should meet here in a little bit. In the meantime, we also searched the warehouse, found a burnt out phone, delivered that to the sheriff, along with the night's happenings and progress report, as it were. And then we schooled Ted on the ways of the Camarilla and got him new clothes because no.
That was literally the most important part of the evening, was the new clothes.
Yes, we did that before anything else, which is probably not the right priorities, but
It's proper priorities for our characters, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
He did get a TLDR the night before.
He did, but not after clothes shopping. Then the following evening, we just kind of got ready for the meeting with Azzy. There's a lot more specifics that happened in there, but broad overarching, there you go.
Broad overarching, there you go. Veggie tray and all.
Yes. Not to be confused with blood.
As he said, I wanted to make sure that you didn't think that I was stupid enough to order a plate of blood. Just in case.
Well, she did think higher of Chance, but maybe not.
pretty sure we're probably the same intelligence, so it's fine.
Tori's actually
It's
smarter
fine.
than Layla.
Oh, then yeah. Yeah, we're the same intelligence. So, yeah.
All right. Anything else to contribute to the summary?
No, Dengle got it.
Alrighty then. I believe we shall begin. And as I recall correctly, you guys were sat at a table in the Crown and Scepter? Sword and Scepter?
Yes, the Sword and Scepter.
Sword and Scepter. Chance's establishment. And a young man had just walked in who introduced himself as Azzy. Recap. Azzy is, as I said, a young man in his late 20s, wild, fluffy red hair. Looks like he walked straight out of a club, all leather and mesh. And he's got a very carefully controlled expression as he's taking the three of you in, because at this point, Ted is still with you. Well, can't say this is what I expected. I don't think I've seen you around before.
And what would you expect?
I didn't know what to expect. May I join you?
By all means.
He grins and takes a seat. So,
Hello.
you know me. Who are you?
My name's Chance.
Layla.
That's Ted.
Go ahead and go ahead and roll me just a straight charisma, the both of you. Let me know what you get.
One.
One in a skull.
That's okay, he rolled none. Chance eyes the both of you.
You mean Azzy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. As he's eyeing both of you, he seems to just kind of glance over Ted. Okay. So I assume, Chance, you were the one that called, yes?
Yes, I am.
The accent matches. You said you had a business proposal?
I do. First things first, though. I didn't know Lisa.
Lisa?
That's where we found your number. It's in her address book.
Got a last name to go with the first name? I know a lot of people.
Kind of looks at Layla.
Liza McNell.
It's an awareness. Both of you.
I got 2.
3.
Okay. So both of you catch it. Something in Azzy's face kind of almost glitches for a second. Layla, you think it might be something akin to fear or maybe suspicion. Chance you're not entirely sure what it was, but you both catch the minute change before he quickly composes himself again. Who wants to know?
Us.
Gonna need a little bit more than that.
I promise you, you don't want us to tell who really wants to know that you know that one.
Or that little bit of fear that you had would be more.
Because I believe the lion was the stuck-up Primogens kid last night, so I assume that you don't have good relations with, well, them.
He just kind of sits back and laughs for a second. Well, I will say this, favor for favor, it's complicated. Just because I don't get along with the prince's kid doesn't mean the prince and I aren't on speaking terms. We might be fine. You never know. You don't even know what I do.
Right, and that's the other part of that. What do you do? Because depending on what you do, is depending on what I can help you with.
All right, I'll play along, at least for a little bit. Tell that you haven't been around too long, otherwise you would know that I manage the local courier network.
Okay. So I assume that's what she was doing? At least I hope for your sake that's what she was doing.
Wait, was?
Oh yeah, did I not tell you that we found her bathrooms covered in something weird red viscous liquid?
He freezes and like the pallor just drains from his face. It was the warm brown, now it's an ashy, and he just gets this mile long stare. Absolutely noticeable.
I suggest you start giving some answers.
Because right now it looks like you're the one that did it, and that's not good. And she's got some information that the prince wants.
That explains a lot. He kind of leans forward from where he was reclined, folds both of his hands together and places them on the table in front of him. If you must know, Liza was my granddaughter. I had gotten permission from the prince to embrace her as soon as I got back from business. However, I'd been away taking care of an annoyance for the past couple months. She was going to come into the fold, and I was going to train her up to run security for one of my teams.
Well, it looks like, and this is purely conjecture, somebody got to it first. Just might not have followed through on the back end.
How close of tabs did you keep on her?
Very. Like
So
I
you know
said,
who
she
would
was,
come and go and visit her.
of course, I was the one that got her that place.
So maybe you can work on getting that information.
I have a hunch about who it might have been. Hoping to be able to deal with this myself. But if the prince is sending people to look into my business, this isn't good. I'll make a deal with you guys. I'll help you on this one. I'll give you the names. I'll come with you. I want to figure this out too. I can't have my name attached to a bloody murder like this.
Good news. It's been cleaned up. Granted, the sheriff knows about it, but it's been cleaned.
Sweeten the deal. Let me figure this one out. And I'll give you guys the friends and family discount on my services. Anything you need shipped anywhere in the world, I'll get it done. Whether you need it brought here or moved somewhere else, no questions.
And what do you want in exchange?
Like I said, help me find out what happened to Liza. And deal with whoever did it.
As long as it will not put us in more trouble.
And if the prince already asked you to dig out on this one, then I'm sure it won't be an issue.
All depends on who it was. And who she maybe made mad. Or, as it may be, you made mad.
Bingo for the lady. The person I suspect did this was an old business partner of mine. Her name was Danielle Crane. A Tremere. She and I worked together on the Pony Express for a long time. I got promoted. She didn't. She took offense to that. Went her own way. After that, I never heard from her again. That was 20 years ago. She's been pretty quiet ever since. There was a rumor gotten around that she was kicked out of the local chantry for something. Never figured out what. Didn't care. I had a business to run at that point.
And that is the only suspect that you have? Someone who is 20 years out and had no connection to her?
Place to start, at least. If we can rule her out, maybe I might be able to find some others.
Does he sound like he's lying about this?
Wits and insight.
Gross. 1.
Did chance roll?
Got the same as Layla.
Okay. He sounds like he's telling the truth. He seems very earnest in what he's saying, or at least as earnest as a kindred can be.
Well, if you want us to help with this and you want to help us, it seems we are going to visit the chantry then.
Okay.
Unless you have other leads to follow up on.
No, that's probably our best start.
You do not seem quite thrilled about this.
It's the Chantry. Just about as political as any other entity within the Camarilla. I've never been the biggest fan of politics. I just want to run my business, but...
Then I think you've picked the wrong sect to be part of.
Sometimes we don't get a choice. But needs must. It's not like I'm on the outs with them or anything.
All right. Well, if that's the case, if we're going to the Chantry, I'm just going to have to make sure I set a proxy for while I'm not here.
Good idea.
So let me go talk to one of my managers, Martin, and I'll meet you out back.
Sure thing.
In the meantime, enjoy the wonderful spread. And he'll actually pick up a carrot and like actually eat it.
You're quite
Showing off
jovial
now, are we?
tonight.
I'm sorry.
You are quite jovial tonight. Lots of laughter.
Sometimes you gotta laugh, otherwise you're gonna start screaming.
Why so nervous?
Let's just say Eliza was one of the few things keeping me tied to my old self.
Then Layla will stand up and wait for Ozzy.
As he will stand and gesture to one of the suited assistants that came in behind him to go fetch the car and bring it around. And he will wait with you while Chance does what Chance does.
All right. So, I assume quickly finds Martin.
Yes.
So, I'm going to step out for a little bit. I need the team to find a Danielle Crane for me.
Danielle.
Think y'all can do that?
We'll see. Do you have a description or anything else to go along with it?
I can tell you she is one of the magical types. That is all I have.
Oh, you're not sending me after a mage, are you, boss?
No, not the full-on ones. The ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't put you in that much danger. Come on now.
You never know anymore. All right. We'll see what we can dig up.
Sooner the better. I probably won't have any phone on me though, so just keep it close to the chest.
Sure.
And with that, he'll just kind of like pat Martin on the back and go grab Layla and Ozzy.
And as you walk away, you can hear him yelling and barking out orders to the rest of the crew. And soon enough, you two have been united, and as you come back, as he kind of looks at you guys, so you guys know where the chantry is, or do you want me to lead the way?
I assumed you knew. If
I
not,
do.
we could figure it out.
Oh, it's not hard. Just in case we got separated, because construction traffic's just nuts. State Museum. Indiana State Museum. It is on the west edge of downtown. Just look for signs for the zoo. It's over that way, a little bit past it. There's signs everywhere. It's hard to miss.
I've seen it before.
Mm-hmm. Go to the State Museum, park in the parking garage, and take the elevator in the parking garage down to the basement level. Wait for me there. If I'm not there already.
Sounds good.
Oh, just a heads up. They typically don't like trespassers, so I wouldn't recommend trying to go in without me. I kind of get not necessarily a free pass, but they're a little bit more permissive for me because I brought them some artifacts a while
I
back.
don't think it's really a choice of theirs, seeing as we have been dubbed hounds for the duration of this.
Oh, well then. Okay. Oh, also, before we separate, take these, and Azzy is going to give each of the three of you his business card. It is a black, just a simple black business card with the name Adrian Ziegler embossed in gold on the front, and his phone number on the back.
All right. And Chance will produce a wallet and actually stick it in the wallet.
Good. You're gonna want to hang on to those. I don't have the easiest time with faces, so keeping that on you will probably be helpful at some point.
Layla just has like a clip with some cards and money on it. She slides it in.
I'm sure Ted just kind of nods and stuffs it in his back pocket. All right. Any other questions before we head out? Any other questions for me?
No.
Not for me.
Alrighty. Like I said, just follow the signs to the zoo and then keep going a little ways. And with that, he will turn and walk out the door.
Layla will turn to Chance. Are we driving together or separate for this?
We can do whatever it is you want to do. I don't mind driving around, everybody around again. We can get in your car. It doesn't really matter.
Together would likely be easier.
Yes.
As to mine or yours, I do not care.
Well, do you want to get into the truck and be very noticeable? Or I assume yours is probably a little bit less.
Very much less.
So which route do you want to take?
Being understated has its merits occasionally.
I will defer to you in this particular situation. So we will take yours.
I don't know if there was valet parking for hers or not.
There's just a lot back there that if you are allowed back, you can park wherever.
Okay. She probably didn't park too far away.
Now, I would assume there's not a whole lot of cars back there.
That's like one of the new Chargers. Like, probably year of. Dark gray, maybe black.
Yeah. He does not make a remark when he gets in.
Surprising.
Ted will slide quietly in the back after you guys.
He's not allowed to touch the doors. Layla or Chance will open it for him. And then...
Tuck his hands in his pants and just kind of shuffle in.
Yeah. And then Layla will start driving.
Okay. Here. Traffic is good. You have to reroute maybe once just to get around a one-way street that's been closed for the ever-present construction, but true to what Azzy said, there are signs for the zoo and the State Museum just about everywhere once you hit downtown. And it's pretty straightforward to follow it in.
Follow it in with you.
Right. Are you guys parking in the parking lot of the Are you guys parking in the designated parking lot for the I'm sorry, I'm losing my words tonight. Are you parking in the designated parking lot for the museum, or are you looking to park elsewhere?
We were told to go to the parking garage. So
Yes.
that is where we were going.
Okay. And of course, this time of night, it's empty. The museum proper is not open. There's a plethora of spots to choose from. The only cars here are, you assume, to be maintenance workers. So,
Not immediately right next to it, but also not terribly far away.
okay. And just about as you pull in, a black Hummer pulls up a couple parking spots down from you, and as he steps out and kind of waves.
We should have taken yours, Chance.
So we could add to him.
Just a small smile. One of the first that you've seen.
I should get a army one and have somebody redo it.
That would be entertaining.
I'd let Ted drive it.
Ted pipes up from the back. Something tells me that wouldn't go well.
Can you even drive?
Maybe?
I mean, physically, can you actually drive?
Maybe?
Helpful.
So a bike instead. Got it.
And as you guys step out of the cars, Ted offers to hang back and watch the vehicles, just in case.
Might be useful.
I would give you my keys, except I would like them to work when I come back.
Fair enough.
She will actually put them in the center console, though, just in case.
All right.
And then turn to Ozzy. Or Adrian, I suppose.
Government name, nickname, it's all the same to the clan. Call me whatever you want. I don't care at this point.
And what is the clan?
It's just this old expression from a book I used to... Never mind. Let's get going.
I was legitimately asking.
Back when I used to visit Liza
I
when
meant
she was...
your clan.
Oh. My clan?
Are you not one of us?
Oh, yes, I am. I just wanted to make sure I heard you right. What do you think I am?
Well, you have problems with faces. You're very flighty, so I would just assume Malkavian. But, that's just me.
Point for the gentleman. I am, in fact, a Malkavian. I assume the gentleman is one of the highborn.
Yes.
Gotta admire the balls. Such an aptly named establishment.
Yes, one's for warriors, one's for kings. That's how you get away with stuff like that.
I like the way you think. And what about you, Miss Nosy?
Why don't you guess?
I don't know. I'd almost gauge one of me, but no, I don't sense the weirdness about you. You're awfully stoic. Ventru, maybe?
Wouldn't that be funny, Chance?
It would. However, a point does not go to the gentleman.
Maybe you'll guess later.
Maybe. He gestures to the elevator. Shall we?
Of course. And she will step in.
As will Chance.
Out of curiosity, what clan was your quiet friend?
Oh, you mean our shadow?
A literal shadow?
I wouldn't let him touch your car.
Or do.
That looks
It
a
would
little
be
bit-
funny.
If you want to have a warranty claim, short, but it looks a little bit too new to let him touch it.
Yeah, I got it as a compensation for having to deal with some unwarranted complaints up in Portland the past few weeks.
It's a good car for that.
I guess it's a good thing he's staying in there. I'd hate to see what he does to an elevator panel. And with that, I'll step into the elevator and hold it open for you guys.
Step in.
Yep.
And as soon as you're in, presses the button for the basement level. Is there anything you guys talk about while in the elevator?
Not unless anything's brought up on his end. Layla will just kind of stand there with her arms kind of behind her back.
Same thing with Chance. Chance will just kind of stand there.
As he will take the hint, he'll stay quiet for few more seconds as the elevator continues to descend a lot farther than you expect, until eventually it dings and opens onto a wide, brightly lit hallway with a white marble floor, and it's very blank walls. It's very sterile. There's a set of glass double doors at the end of the short hallway. Oh, here we are. In we go.
I assume there will be no unexpected surprises waiting for us.
I can't guarantee that. It's the Chantry.
That you set up while you were separated from us.
Oh, no. No, I genuinely need your guys' help with this. I'm not gonna screw you over. At least not on this.
Doesn't hurt to be cautious.
There. You will walk up. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I was gonna say she'll step out and start walking.
Chance is just gonna follow.
Nazi will briskly walk ahead up to the glass doors, and as you get close, you can see a small intercom on the side of the wall, and he'll press the button. Hello, can I help you? Hey, it's Azzy. I got someone to see Isabel. Isabel's busy right now. Unless it's official business, we suggest you come back later. I think this is pretty official. I'll kind of look back at Layla and Chance.
We're here as proxy hounds. Just looking for information about someone.
Proxy hounds.
Not official.
Official, but probably not long term.
That explains why I didn't hear about it. Come in. Adrian, if you could escort them to the conference room, just at the end of the hallway, I'll meet you guys there. Can do, boss lady. You hear a mechanical whirring and the door clicks and swing open.
Follow Izzy.
Yep.
And as you start walking, he's just going off about the different aspects of the Chantry. This wing's, if I recall correctly, it's where they store all their art pieces. This wing leads to the library. That's just the bathrooms. Don't worry about those. That's just for show. And the conference room's at the end of the hall, like they said. And you can tell he's very excited to be back again.
You seem quite intimately familiar with this.
It's a fun place when you don't have someone constantly shadowing you and berating you for touching the statues, but it's a fun place to be. All right, here we are. This is the, ooh, they sent us to the big conference room. And true to his word, it's just this big, long, dark wooden conference table with a bunch of black leather spinny chairs sat around it.
Likely an intimidation tactic. It's fine.
Of all people to try to intimidate, right?
Yes.
And Chance will actually not take a seat until somebody comes in.
They'll just walk around the room inspecting it.
There's... Let's see here. Let's see here. Go ahead and give me either wits and awareness or what's an investigation, whichever's better for you.
Investigation.
Okay.
I will not be doing this particular roll.
I probably have to burn a willpower. Yikes. Not good.
In the interest of saving you the willpower, I will say you're probably not going to find any like deeply buried secrets in the conference room, so it's totally up to you.
I have one in a skull. I really don't want to be angry here.
Okay.
So if that's a failure, I'm going to burn a willpower.
Okay, go for it.
I have lots of willpower just for this reason. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no. 2 in a skull.
So, as you're looking around, it is a very bare conference room. There's like a little mini coffee bar with a cabinet full of like paper cups and coffee filters and like the really bad decaf coffee that they stock in like hotels and stuff. There's not much there, and the impropriety of being forced into a room this boring, this mind-numbing, it ticks something off in the back of Layla's head. Not full-out raging anger, but definitely a semblance of annoyance. And after a minute of perusing what is essentially white walls with black and white maps of the Indianapolis area tacked up onto them and boring gray cupboards, eventually a frazzled-looking woman, mid-40s, wild curly blonde hair, tan skin, just this absolutely madcap look in her eyes, comes almost screeching in, and immediately she's like, "I'm so sorry, I'm late. Something just about blew up upstairs, and I had to." Never mind. Hello, I am Isabel Torres. I am the local regent, and very good to meet all of you. Introductions. Sorry, have a seat.
Layla only will if Chance does.
Chance will, in 100% purposeful power move, take a seat at the head of the table, and as he's sitting down, Chance.
As she says,
Nice to meet-
Layla.
Good. Nice to meet both of you. So, Azzy, it's been a minute. Last I heard you were in Portland. What's up?
We are looking for somebody that y'all apparently know, and as he used to know and has a personal problem with. If you can provide any details as to where she might be, I assume it's a she, then that would be wonderful. One Danielle Crane.
And as you were originally speaking, Isabel's frowning, but as you say the name Danielle Crane, just this look of exhaustion crosses her face and her shoulders slump, and she just like loses her posture in her seat as she tips her head back and rolls her eyes so hard. Oh, what has that girl done now?
Murder someone and left it our problem to clean up. Potentially.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I'm not.
I mean, honestly, that sounds like her. She didn't clean up any of her messes. Part of why she got kicked out of the chantry, if I'm being honest. Danielle. Moment. And she'll actually get up from her seat and open the door and holler into the hallway. And you can hear her yell for an assistant to get Crane's file. And she pokes her head back in. Yeah, she's a problem. I've got someone getting what we've still got on her. It's a little out of date, but we'll see.
I'm surprised you have not cleaned up your problem sooner.
I mean, honestly, we thought we did. She moved and then moved back, and we kind of kept tabs on her, and then we had some other problems pop up, and we were down a bunch of people. Things got busy, things got weird, as they do.
I see.
Well, that seems like a record-keeping problem then. Which is odd for y'all, from what I understand.
Yeah, we, it's a long story and I don't want to bore you with it.
It's not like I'm gonna get old. So by all means, if you do feel like you want to bore me with it, or us with it, we have at least until morning.
If you're requesting Danielle's file, and as he's here with you, something tells me you ain't got till morning. I will tell you what I remember of Danielle's, that she was a pretty typical Tremere, very precocious, very interested in the typical offbeat things. However, she had a bit of an issue with authority.
So like a typical Tremere then.
She was not very happy about having to answer to the pyramid. So we thought maybe if we gave her a little bit of leash, let her off on these adventures with Azzy and the Pony Express and the courier system and all that fun stuff. Maybe she would work it out of her system, realize the world's a little bit too big for her, and then come back to the Chantry. It's not the first time we've dealt with a problem child before. Probably won't be the last.
And has that ever worked for you before? Giving them a little bit of leash? I'm genuinely curious, so I know how to handle this issue, and I have to be put in that position.
It has a few times. I'm not going to say it's worked every time, but it has a few times.
I would imagine it causes more problems than it solves.
It really kind of depends on the scope of things. Sometimes we have Childer decide they want to make their way in the broader scope of the city and get cowed by that pretty quickly. Some decide they we had a young gentleman decide that he wanted to go out adventuring a little bit and actually fell in with the Chicago Chantry and decided to stay there. We were fine with it. It's Indianapolis. People come and go all the time.
I'm sure you were fine with it. One less problem for you, right?
Not wrong. You're not wrong. And
ultimately,
yes,
that's what we want, is one less problem for us until there's no problems left.
now you sound like Hargraves. And as Isabel says that, a very young woman with a high ponytail comes and thick rimmed glasses comes clacking in with a file, not a very thick file, but a file under her arm, and hands it off to Isabel, and then turns back without a word and strides back into the hallway. Okay, so this is what I've got. I thought we had more than that. And Isabel kind of looks at it puzzled.
Sounds like more record-keeping problems then.
Yeah.
You may want to look into that.
Yeah. The gentleman that decided to settle into Chicago was our prospective record keeper, and we have not found a replacement his equal yet.
Sounds like you would be hard-pressed to find someone worse than him.
You would think, but
Shall I offer you bookkeeping services? I myself run a library.
Isabel kind of looks you up and down. Go ahead and roll me charisma and persuasion.
Ooh, gross. I'm not good at this.
That's okay, just do it.
2.
She seems to consider you for a minute. Talk after this is over.
Sure.
If you do have the skills, I might take you up on it, but I'd have to run it by the others first. You said your name was Layla?
Yes. Layla Cullen.
Yeah. You. And should we decide to take you up on this offer, what would be a good way to reach you?
He would give the address for the library.
Oh, is that the library Primogen Tan is funding?
Yes.
He was working on a little side project. Interesting.
Out of curiosity, would Chance just know who that is?
Oh, you probably would. You would at least know he, without even rolling, you would at least know that he's the Ventru Primogen for Indianapolis.
That's all I want. And with that, he'll just kind of give Layla a quick little glance and kind of smile a little bit.
Anyway, thank you for the offer, by the way. We'll, like I said, I'll bring that up to the others and we'll look into that. But in the meantime, Danielle. Yes. She was the one that was poking around after the local werewolf. She has some weird fascination with their mystics and kept bothering them, and well, I'm sure you understand. We couldn't have that. We don't want an incident.
No.
And after several warnings, she persisted. So, in the interest of keeping peace, we cut ties with her.
That is the only information you have for us?
let's see here, and she flips through a couple more pages to the very back. We have her old address. She used to live in an apartment not too far from here.
When was she last there that you have on record?
Let's see. We cut ties with her about 18 and a half years ago, and she was still she was recorded living there up until about 10 years ago. But then she moved back 2 years ago into the same spot, so she's kind of gone quiet ever since we saw her move back, and we haven't seen her since.
But that was the last known location as of 2 years ago?
Yes.
A place to start, if nothing else. Do you have a picture of her?
Do
Or a description?
Oh, here we go. And she'll pull a page that looks like a photocopy of a work badge ID kind of a thing. It's in black and white, but it's got the name, height, eye color, hair color, typical ID stuff. She appears to be a young woman in her mid to late 20s. Long, dark colored hair, either a dark brown or a black. You're not entirely sure, because it just says hair color dark. And says she's got brown eyes. 5'10", so relatively tall.
Is this a copy we can have?
And she kind of looks through. Yeah, there's another copy in there, so you can take this one. Just make sure it doesn't get left anywhere.
Of course not. But it will help in talking to people trying to find her. And Layla will fold it and like tuck it under her jacket.
Well, is there anything else you guys needed from me?
Not unless you find more information out on her.
Oh, I doubt I'll find anything before you do. I would advise being careful. People that go poking around werewolf affairs typically don't have the best reasons to be doing so, even for our kind. So, just be careful. And with that, she will stand. And
Chance will mimic.
Then with Layla.
And seeing the others get up, as he will hurriedly stand and almost kind of tip over his chair and then right it and kind of shuffle off towards the door at a quick pace, almost like forgetting that there are other people in the room with him. And Isabel will turn to you. If you need anything regarding this, please let me know.
If we have any more questions, we will.
Best of luck to you then. And she will hold the door open for you guys.
Step out unless Chance wants to lead that.
Chance will let ladies go first.
And we'll step out and start walking.
Somewhere about halfway down the hall, as you will kind of remember that he was with people and kind of stop and wait for you before he enters the elevator.
We've got an elevator for another round of uncomfortable silence. Unless it's broken by Ozzy.
No, as he's pretty lost in thought, you can hear him mumbling to himself. But that's his attention is fully transfixed on what is currently occurring
To him.
Yeah, whatever is occupying that brain of his.
I assume it's something like a hamster in a wheel.
Neon cap music cycling over and over and over.
Push button for the parking garage.
After an uncomfortable minute of silence, you arrive back in the parking garage with a ding. And the cars are as you left them.
Is our shadow still there?
Yep, still sat in the back, kind of watching everything with a shifty look. Nothing seems to have changed. There's a couple birds. No people about. Besides the three of you guys. Plus your shadow in the car. And
Move to her car unless Ozzy is starting to say something to them.
oh, hey, can I see that address? Real quick. I didn't get to
Why?
see it. I didn't get to see it, and I need to know where we're going.
Oh, you are still coming with us? I suspect we should see the sheriff first. Especially if werewolves are involved.
That'd probably be wise.
When you're right, you're right.
I know.
Okay. You guys know where to find him?
I certainly hope so.
I assume the same place we found him before. The club.
Did you find?
The hotel. Yeah.
Yep, the downstairs club in the hotel. That's usually where he's at.
We are
Unless
not
he's out doing
completely
something.
clueless. We would not have been chosen otherwise.
I got no way of knowing what's going on in your brains. I barely know what's going on in mine some days.
Probably less than yours.
Touche.
Any idea yet?
Any idea?
My clan.
I've never met anyone quite like you before that wasn't a Ventru. Obviously
Keep
weren't
thinking, Ben.
Tremere.
That would be a good fit, though. But no, definitely not Tremere. Well,
I've been told I am the bookish type. It comes with what I do. Did.
while the little mice run around in your head and try to figure it out, we're gonna go see the sheriff.
You can meet us there or not. He may want to talk to you, though.
Yeah, Killian's pretty thorough like that. I'll come with you guys.
Well, I suspect you know how to find him, so you don't need to wait for us if you get there before us.
All right, I'll see you there then. And as he will just kind of give an offhanded salute and pile back into his Hummer.
We'll get under her car.
Chance will pile into the passenger seat.
Start driving.
So, too far off from the downtown proper. It takes a couple minutes to navigate the evening traffic. But you arrive back at the hotel parking lot pretty quickly.
Before we get to there, Layla will kind of glance at Chance. And what are your thoughts?
I'd be willing to put money on setting a wild goose chase to try to take care of a problem that actually doesn't exist.
I concur.
But this is the only lead that we've got.
The information on this is so old.
Exactly. So either it's a intentional misleading, or somebody intentionally erase some information.
That file was surprisingly light for, well, the surprise on her face, so I assume that things are missing.
Yes. Which that would be another inquiry for another time. We don't really have...
That was not our jurisdiction. But
Exactly.
will be good to let them know, I think.
Yes. Also, since we have a little bit of time, your funder of your library.
Mr. Tan.
Yeah. Not quite what I expected, but it makes sense.
I needed a patron to come back in, given the difficulties my clan has had with the Camarilla.
It's a good one. Might do well eventually to make formal introductions.
I'm surprised
He's
you did not know him.
I don't know personally.
Mm.
I just haven't crossed paths.
I'm sure if you come around the library occasionally, you will see him. He likes to check up on things.
As one should.
See where their money is going.
Exactly. Make sure their worker bees are doing what they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm. The library is open to the public, so you should see him there occasionally if you come.
I stop in a couple days, who knows?
Make a more natural introduction,
Yes.
if you prefer that. If not, I can try to arrange something. I don't have much pull with him like that. Nor
Shall.
should I go out of my way for you right now.
No, I'd wouldn't ask you to. Feel like he's, and I do mean this purely off of, as you said, your clan's having quite an issue with the Camarilla. It's going pretty far out on a limb for you. Don't want to strain anything. Don't want to strain any relationship that might be there that is positive.
Yes. We're good now.
Just making sure.
Mhm.
Just making sure. And so, as the discussion concludes, you pull into the hotel parking lot. Anything else you wish to discuss on your way in?
Yeah, we just continue to fill Ted in on as to what he missed.
Yep.
He'll just kind of nod quietly, not quite sure what to make of everything yet, and follow quietly behind you.
Down to try and find Killian.
And you make your way into the hotel. The security guards recognize you from earlier. They nod at you. And you make your way downstairs. And as expected, he is sitting at the bar nursing a very dark drink. Talking to the barkeep on hand. Just some idle chit chat about the latest football game.
Not really butt into the conversation, but also kind of just hovering until he's done.
After a couple more seconds of talking, he pauses like mid-sentence, mouth still open, and his eyes slide over to you. Can I help you?
We have an update.
Ah. And he gestures for you to join him at the bar.
Sit down.
I assume we just sit on either side.
That works.
Do you know a Danielle Crane?
Danielle Crane, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, we ran her out of town for a little bit a while back, but she came back a couple years. Just recent, pretty recently. Yeah, 2 years ago. She went silent after she came back. Why? Something come up on her?
Possibly.
Yes. Yes, possibly. Also, Adrian. The
that motor mouth. What's he gotten himself into this time?
apparently he was connected to Liza. We tried to at least get you good information so you didn't have to do a whole lot of legwork. Apparently there was a permission to bring into the fold that was given. She is missing, like the progress report yesterday said. As he decided that he thinks that Danielle might have something to do with it.
Is he still going on about that old grudge of theirs?
That's all we got right now until we rule that out. There ain't a whole lot we can go off of.
we decided to go visit the pyramid, and they said that she had been poking around Guru.
Oh. I
Last
wouldn't be
they heard.
surprised.
Which they had very sparse records. with
Now that
her.
surprises me.
Us
Usually
too.
they're... That's a little concerning. Usually they're better at record keeping than that. And as to the bit about Guru, I wouldn't be surprised. That girl had a nose for trouble. Worse than any I'd ever seen in this city.
Something tells both of us that there's some tampering going on. Trying to come cover some stuff up, which to a certain extent is to be expected. But
There was visible surprise at the size of the records they had. So, behind the scenes things, I think.
And Killian kind of frowns, and you can see his eyes kind of glow a little in the dim light as he swirls his drink pensively. This does sound like a problem.
We were hesitant to dig more into Danielle given the lupine connections before coming to you.
How much do you guys know about the werewolves and other changing breeds native to Indianapolis?
They're a thing.
Indianapolis, not a whole heck of a lot. Louisiana, that's a little bit different. I assume they're pretty close, though.
Yeah, you could say that. They're not too numerous, at least not anymore. A lot of them moved out. We got one or two packs around. Most these days, it's mostly the crows, but what werewolves do remain, we are at a... Stalemate's not the right word. Ceasefire might be a better option. First thing Harcourt did when she got into power was broker something of a treaty with them. We stay in our little area, they stay in theirs, and nary the two shall meet. If that's getting jeopardized because some rogue Tremere decides she knows better than everyone else around her, that's going to be a very serious problem.
Well, then that's going to be a very serious problem. From what we've been told. Is this something that you want us to be poking into, is to try to find her?
Yes, I think this needs dealt with and dealt with quickly. I'm not expecting any heroics. I'm not expecting you guys to take down a guru by any means. But this is something that needs to be investigated. And since this is dangerous, I would be happy to come with you should you desire it.
Chance will kind of look over at Layla and be like, go to the apartment first. Probably wouldn't need you, I don't think.
It couldn't. No. There is other footwork to be done first. We can come back when or if we need you. Unless you wanted to investigate the apartment with us.
No. You guys have been doing the legwork. If you guys think it'll be okay, I'll trust your judgment that far at least. But like I said, no heroics, no theatrics. Don't mess with the guru.
I am not a fighter, nor do I intend to do that.
That's not my forte either. I can if needed, but I don't like to.
I doubt there will be a guru in the apartment.
All right. You say so.
I don't know. I'm assuming. Given that they're supposed to stay in their little area. You have the more experience here. If you think you should come with us, then that is your call.
Killian just kind of shrugs. I've not really dealt with them. That's not what I do. I wrangle our people, not theirs.
So
As
for
he
now,
should be coming to speak with you, so maybe you can get more out of him while we go investigate the apartment.
I can get him to shut up and actually say something important, then maybe. And Killian kind of chuckles into his drink and finishes it. Well, best of luck at the apartment. If you need me, let me know.
absolutely. We'll find a payphone or a landline or something. Call the front desk.
Sure.
Stand up and start heading out.
And as you are heading out to the cars, you see as these Hummer pull in.
Don't really stop to speak with him unless he tries.
Just kind of wave at you guys and keep going unless otherwise stopped.
Not gonna bother a milk that actually has some focus.
Yeah.
Do you want your Hummer for this one? Or your truck for this one?
How fast is your car?
Pretty fast. But it won't really survive any impacts.
As long as you can figure out how to make it go fast. If we need to get away, just drive straight fast.
Pedal to the floor. Got it.
Or I can get one of my people to show up with one of the sedans.
I don't mind driving, I just didn't know if you think that would be a better idea.
The truck's top heavy.
Yes.
Should I have to maneuver? Probably not the best thing. I can ram things though.
A good use for it. Means she's driving to the apartment, I suppose.
So the address to the apartment you guys have is pushing the boundaries on what is Camarilla and what is not. It's a very, very, very northern edge of the city. In a surprisingly nice neighborhood. It's got a series of very closely rowed apartment buildings, just 2 stories.
So, is there any people out right now, or is it just...
Let's see here. There are a few people out and about, but they look very tired. They're probably night shift workers getting off or waking up to go to a shift.
Okay.
They don't seem to be minding you.
So yeah, pull into whatever parking area there is for the specific one we need to go to.
Okay. It seems to be there's 2 designated spots per apartment, and there's only 1 car currently parked in the apartment in question's parking lots. So you can just pull right up alongside there if you so desire.
I don't want to pull into the spot for that apartment just in case, but if there's any guest parking, park
yeah, there. There's guest parking on the other side of the street in these like open parking lot areas with sort of like open shelters, like roofs but no sides.
Yeah, we'll park in guest parking.
Okay.
So
And
we have no way of knowing if this is her or not. Shall we say we are looking for an old friend?
We can do that.
Or do you have a suggestion?
Dressed like we are, looking for an old friend might be the best idea. Or if you want to play the altered idiots for a little while, trying to open the wrong door.
I think we are dressed a little too nicely to be to live in this area. Are we? We're a little bit upscale.
You're a little bit upscale for this particular neighborhood. It's not particularly dingy. It's nothing compared to what you've been in, but it's definitely not quite business formal.
That may be a little bit more difficult for me to play as well. If you want to try that, you're welcome to.
No. Only works if you got multiple parties. So, knocking on doors and trying to find old friends.
Or say we were given the wrong address if it's the wrong one.
That could work. For a employee.
Doing a wellness check?
That might be better.
This was the last address we have on file.
Not like we didn't do that last night at work.
That is true.
So Chance will walk up to the address given.
We'll be slightly behind him.
No one passes you as you will head up the stairs. The door facing you is pretty plain. It's just got the number and the letter. No welcome mat, no signs, no nothing.
Was there any names on the outside?
Nope.
So we're gonna rap on the door just a little bit.
You don't hear anything at first. After a minute, you think you might hear some shuffling inside, but it's not coming to answer the door.
Going to repeat it.
This time, after you rap on the door, an older-looking woman, late 60s or so, comes and opens the door. What business have you got knocking on these doors at this time of night?
All right, we're looking for one of our people. They ain't showed up to work in a couple days. Just want to make sure they're okay.
This was the last address we have on file. We wanted to come check on them, given the sicknesses that have been going around.
You from the Department of Health or something?
For their employer.
Either charisma and persuasion or manipulation and persuasion.
Both of us are just one.
Both of you.
I will take charisma and persuasion.
Manipulation and subterfuge, if I can take it, if not persuasion.
Yeah, subterfuge will work. I'll allow that.
Cool. 5.
I am going to spend a willpower to try to help my roll. It's not bad. It's just I want to do better.
Okay.
That's better. 4, 6, 7.
Okay. So, when you say that you're her employer, the woman kind of looks at you. Who'd you say it was you were looking for?
Miss Crane?
Oh, Miss Crane. Oh, that girl. It's so nice to know that someone's checking up on her. She actually requested to switch units. I was kind of surprised. I was living in one of the downstairs units, and she came to the office one day and said that she needed a downstairs unit. And so, being the person that lived above her at the time, I offered to switch.
She never updated the file. You say it's the one right below us?
Yeah. Is she in trouble? Is she good? She's been having some weird people going in and out of her apartment at weird hours. I've been getting concerned, but property management won't do nothing. She pays her bills. They don't care.
Like I said, she just ain't showed up to work in a couple days. Just want to make sure she's okay. Make sure she ain't sick. Make sure she ain't gotten nothing that she ain't supposed to be getting into.
That'd be more my concern than getting sick, although you know that COVID's going through, so you never know.
It is. Well, if she's downstairs, I do apologize for disturbing you this early. We will go down there and make sure, and we'll try to get a hold of her.
No, not at all. I appreciate you guys finally doing something about this.
Have a pleasant evening. Thank you, and sorry for the trouble.
No trouble, no trouble. Not you two. And she'll kind of meander back into her apartment.
Layla is kind of sharing a glance with Chance as they probably walk downstairs.
You could see if there was a need to breathe, Chance would have let out a huge sigh of annoyance rather than anything.
I am curious to know who is coming and going.
If I find out that it's Adrian, we're gonna have problems.
Agreed. Or any of his couriers.
Yes. Anyway, would you like to take the lead this time, or would you let me?
It does not matter. We may want to have our shadow go scope around the outside, though, just in case she tries to flee.
Just kind of, I assume Ted's right there with us. But sounds like a good idea. You should probably take a walk. Make sure nobody's trying to run away.
Okay.
If you do see somebody, whistle.
Sure. And Ted will kind of meander off to do as instructed. Very carefully. Very stealthily.
I just hope that he can actually whistle.
If not, I'm sure he will shout.
Let's hope.
Then walk on up to the door and knock 3 times.
I gotta go pick that up, so give me just a second.
Good thing Layla's taking the lead.
It's chocolate, so.
Oh yeah, go.
First time you knock on the door, no answer.
3 more.
Still no answer.
Is the door locked?
Yes.
Is there any noise?
Go ahead and roll me wits and awareness.
Three.
You don't hear anything, which is odd because you can see a light on through the window, but it's oddly quiet, like too quiet.
Can anything else be seen through the window?
No, there's a curtain drawn over it, so all you can see is the diffused light.
How big is the window?
It's not a super sizable window. It's just standard, like, what, 3 feet by 3 feet. 3 by 2, whatever that standard boxy window size is.
Is that also locked? Just
Yes.
trying to like slightly pick it up.
If you're just trying, then yes, you'll find that it is locked.
So, Dengle, the door is locked, no noise, no one is coming through.
Chance can't pick locks.
Neither can I. Is there a back door?
Not that you have seen.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to get Ted.
Give me a second.
By all
And
means.
Chance will walk in the general direction that Ted walked. And hopefully be able to see him.
Go ahead and roll me with either wits and awareness or wits and investigation, whichever is better for you.
I got 2. And awareness is better than for me.
Well, that was a tie. So you see a shadow, like a really deep shadow on the ground beneath a window, which you think might be him, but you can't quite tell.
You'll just rather loudly. Psst, Ted.
Ted pops his head up from the bushes.
We need the door unlocked.
Oh,
If you would
okay.
please.
Sure. And he'll follow you back around to the front.
So we're in like an entrance way, right?
Yes.
Kind of post up near the main doors to make sure no one's gonna walk in, I guess.
Okay.
And Chance will be on the other side if there has to be, or there is another side.
Okay. Let's see here. That's his person. Okay. Okay, so he got a 4 on his larceny check. So he's this isn't a very sturdy lock. It's not the most well made. And after a few seconds of fiddling, it comes open with a click and a pop. And the door swings in just an inch or so.
Head back to that door.
Yep. Head back to the door.
Do you see anything, Ted?
Let's see here. What does Ted see? I see a mess.
Lovely. And Layla will push the door open a little bit more.
And the sight that immediately greets you is what you've heard a junkie house would look like. Just trash everywhere, a layer of dust and grime over most of the hardtop furniture, odd-looking stains on couches, and an ancient-looking TV complete with antenna. And it's clearly been lived in recently, but in no semblance of human order or comfort.
I am very rarely glad we do not have to breathe. She says as she steps in.
I know this is going to sound odd. You got any plastic bags in your car?
Maybe some.
I don't know if it's even sanitary for you to step in there.
I'm not necessarily a fan, but you can check the trunk if you'd like. And she would hand him her keys.
Then he actually will. And if he finds any, he'll bring back enough for everyone.
A couple of bags just in the trunk tucked away that got forgotten.
Faye, go ahead and roll me a single dice and tell me what you get.
Fail.
So you see a box of what would hold like a roll of trash bags, but it's empty.
You just kind of shit. And we'll come back and like, I gotta pay Tony extra today.
It's fine, just try not to think about it too much.
Oh, it's not necessarily for me. I don't. Person that does my cleaning.
Would you like me to look for a bag in here?
Something tells me that's not gonna help.
Probably not. And just taking a few steps inside, is there anything that immediately attracts attention as to be a problem?
Nothing immediate catches your attention. Nothing sharp. There's not like drug needles spread around or rusty utensils or anything like that. It's just
no, like blood bags or big blood
like blood
stains or kindred level problems.
Not immediately, and not immediately here. No.
Okay. Where's the light coming from?
The light is coming from two sources. There is a light fixture in the small living room area above the stained couch, and there is a naked light bulb in the kitchen that barely illuminates the shadow of a hallway off to the right.
Wow. I don't really want to go down there, but I suppose we must.
Probably. Something tells me with all this trash, they hear us coming too.
Most likely. And she will try to find a light as she continues on. Sorry. Go ahead, Dangle.
And as you do that, Chant's going to be 100% sarcastically, come out, wherever you are. You know you're in here.
And as you find the light switch, you switch it on, and there's just two doorways in the hallway. There's one that looks like it goes to maybe a small closet or a bathroom or something. It's dark in there, so you can't quite tell for sure. And then there's a door that's closed at the very end of the hallway.
How much you want to bet we're going to find another mess in the bathroom?
Can I be on the side that we will? Because I don't like to lose bets.
I don't typically bet anyway. Open. Like open and then immediately go for the light.
Okay. So true to form, there's a good mess in the bathroom. You can see some. It's not nearly as bad as what was at the apartment, but you do see some blood smears on the tiled wall over by the shower bathtub combo. There's a weird ring on the sink and in the bathtub.
But no body.
No body, no.
You may need to get your crew in here again.
Yeah, apparently. Can Chance try to identify what's made that ring?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and either give me intelligence and medicine, or Intelligence and academics?
Could I interest you in intelligence and science?
Do you have a specialty in science?
Chemistry and biofuels.
Yes, I will let you use science then.
Can I try academics?
Yes.
I got 3.
Okay. And what did Layla get?
Also 3.
Okay. So, definitely blood. It's a little bit fresher than what you imagined you would find here. Can't exactly tell how fresh, but it's definitely mortal blood.
Like wadding up some toilet paper or whatever. Is it still tacky?
Yes.
That's an interesting sign. I almost wonder if they were tipped off.
In the 15 minutes that we had talking to the sheriff alone?
No, I mean since yesterday.
It's a possibility.
If we were started to close in on Liza.
Well, he kind of looks across the hall. Got one more door. Let's see if there's anything behind door number 2 then.
Are you opening it or do you want me to?
I got it. And Chance will open the door.
You open the door and it is a pitch black room.
Try to flick the light on if at all possible.
Okay. You flick the light on and it does come on, and the room is surprisingly bare. The only thing you really see is a what looks to be a makeshift hatch carved out of the floorboards, and what you assume was at one point the carpet that covered the room is rolled up and tucked, standing upright in a nearby corner.
You ain't getting your security deposit back.
Well, now we know why she wanted the bottom floor.
Sure do. Grabs hatch and swings it open.
You see a metal ladder descending just a few feet into what looks to be a dugout tunnel, mix of concrete and dirt.
Is there a flashlight anywhere in the room?
Not in this room, but if you go back to the other rooms, you might be able to find one.
Definitely backtracking and looking.
Okay. Go ahead and give me either what's go ahead and give me what's an investigation on this one. Just to see how long it takes you to find it.
2, 3.
Great. Okay, so it takes you a minute, but it's not a super long search. You do kind of have to feel yourself to dig through a little bit of mess to find one, but you do find a working flashlight on a table underneath some old McDonald's takeout bags.
Disgusting, she says as she comes back into the room.
Here, hand me that and I'll head down.
She'll hand it to him. Hopefully it's not tacky.
Nope. You think you feel something a little grainy, maybe like salt, but nothing sticky.
Okay. So down the hole he goes.
with Layla following up.
As I said, it's a short ladder, maybe 5 feet at the most, and it's a not a very tall tunnel. You kind of have to crouch just a little bit, at least for the first few feet, but it kind of widens and gets taller into a proper tunnel pretty quickly until you come to a metal door embedded in this wall of dirt. It's very random and very sudden.
Does it look like it locks?
Yes, there is a lock very prominently in the doorknob.
Do we want to take a chance to open this thing up or no?
Not particularly, but I would much rather the sheriff be here for that, but I don't know if we have time for that now.
Perhaps not. Hey, Ted, where you at?
You kind of hear a soft thump, 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 thump as Ted kind of shuffles in. And then you hear a very faint, "Where you at?"
All the way down here at the end. You got a lock down here.
Kind of comes thumping in and sticks his head through the hole at the end of the tunnel there. Said you got another lock?
Yeah.
All right. He'll shuffle down the ladder and come on over to you guys. See how this goes. Okay. So it takes a little bit of time. This one's clearly a more advanced lock. And Ted kind of messes with it and fiddles with it and swears under his breath a couple times. And as you're messing with the lock, you hear it click from the other side as if someone unlocked it for you. And the door just kind of swings open.
Bringing the flashlight up into the crack of the door as he continues to swing it open.
Layla's hand's gonna kind of tuck behind her back where she keeps that gun holstered.
You don't see anyone. No one pokes their head through. No hands reach around the other side of the door. Doesn't open any further.
Goes to move inside the door then.
Is Layla following or is Layla staying out there?
She's following a couple steps behind.
Okay. As you two enter the makeshift dugout room, a rather grotesque scene meets you. There's a naked bulb suspended from the ceiling of the little cave room. Follows a wire out to back where you came from. And there are 3 figures in the room, surrounded by all these shapes painted on the walls in what looks like a mixture of blood and moss. Very odd looking sight, but but in front of you is 3 women. One of whom you recognize, Danielle Crane. As pictured, very thin, pretty tall. She's kind of ducking her head a little bit to manage the ceiling. She's got a hood up, and you can see long brown hair drifting down over her shoulders, and she has a very gaunt look on her face. Second person you see Is that a person? There's something off about them. You don't recognize them. And the third person, another woman, is staring at you and grinning a wide, very unsettling grin. And as she finally addresses you, "Ah, yes, cousins! I was wondering if you were going to join us. Welcome."
Finish stepping into the room, hands still behind her back.
Oh, there's no need for that. We're all kin under the worm here.
Oh. So, you're Danielle. And who are you two?
Oh, where are my manners? Of course, of course, of course. You can call me Leech. The odd-looking woman says kind of vapidly. Now that you're looking at her, she's very gaunt, very sparsely dressed, got long, matted black hair, very wide, icy blue eyes, and very odd-looking tattoos all over her body that seem to vaguely resemble the symbols painted all over the room. You're muted, Faye.
Does Layla recognize any of those symbols?
Go ahead and give me intelligence and occult.
I will not be making this because Chance would have no idea, realistically speaking.
3.
Okay. You don't necessarily know what they mean, but you do recognize them as Guru-style images. Very harsh lines and arcs and rough edges.
Doesn't say anything about that yet.
And who are you? To the one that hasn't spoken yet.
The one that hasn't spoken yet suddenly jerks its head very awkwardly to the side, almost looks like it snapped its own neck. Oh, you'll have to forgive her. She's not in a talking mood anymore.
Apparently. Maybe we should leave and come back later.
Fine, it's fine. This is just how she is now.
What was her name?
She used to be known as Liza.
Interesting.
No,
What did you do to her?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, that's why I asked.
I would assume the mess in her bathroom had something to do with that.
Danielle, darling, you told me you cleaned up your mess. And Danielle just kind of shrinks back into herself and avoids eye contact, kind of muttering, "I thought I did, but I'm gonna..."
I don't know what your sense of cleaning is, but it was not anything close to being clean.
And Danielle just kind of looks at her shoes.
So I'm gonna ask real nice, like, y'all need to come upstairs with us. We can have a talk, and then we can figure out the whole Liza situation. Because we've been looking for her for a couple days now.
Figured someone would be, but we weren't expecting you, were we, Danielle? No, we weren't.
You were expecting Ozzy?
She was. And Danielle just rounds on her with a glare. But Leech seems unfazed by it.
Leech, are you one of us? You called us cousins.
We are all children of the worm. I can smell it on you.
So I take it you are not, or at least not fully, given the guru symbols you are painting.
Someone appreciates my art.
I don't know much
Lovely.
about it, just enough to recognize them.
I would be surprised if you did. Guru don't like to talk about those anymore.
Right about now is when I wish I had my dad's ring in my pocket.
Odd comment.
Oh, just in case. Something tells me y'all a little bit further off the rocket than we can manage to carry you and put you back onto.
Oh no, we hopped off that rocket ourselves.
Correctly. Given the mess you've left us to follow.
How much y'all want to bet? At least two of the three of these is the serial killer that's been going around here lately.
I would
Danielle's head
actually take you up on that.
Danielle's head pops up and Leech giggles a little bit. Oh, that wasn't us.
No.
And who was it?
I don't know, Danielle. Who was that? Danielle looks. Oh, he promised he wouldn't make any messes while he was here. No, I'm not saying.
Why not? He's obviously left you in the problem. Why protect him?
Either charisma and persuasion or manipulation and persuasion.
Manipulation. Three.
All right, 3 beats 1. Danielle, you can see she's struggling. She doesn't really want to say anything until Leech kind of kicks her in the leg. Well, go on. They came all this way and they're cleaning up your mess. You owe them a favor, isn't that what you do? You gave me some information in exchange for a place to stay for a couple months, and I told him I wouldn't say anything to anyone.
Obviously, he has thrown you under the bus and left you with many problems. And you were worse for wear in the entire situation. So what really does it hurt for you to say?
At this point, Danielle is looking very nervously at Leech, who's just kind of sitting there giggling, watching her squirm uncomfortably, clearly enjoying it.
No. Hey, look over here. She ain't even here no more. And he'll actually turn on off.
All right. Let's see. Does that require... What's the roll to resist on that? That's here.
Manipulation and presence versus composure and intelligence.
Okay, so go ahead and give me that.
I got 2.
Tie goes to the active kindred.
Okay.
She swings back around to you and is at the moment transfixed on Chance. It was some Tremere from out of town. She just wanted a quiet place to stay for a little bit, and I knew as he used this warehouse on the south side, and told him I'd wrangle some security so he'd be left alone. In return, he taught me something.
I need a name, please.
He didn't give me a name. He had a couple of assistants with him. Real quiet one. Might have been human. I didn't catch her name. There was a very bubbly, talkative one. Oh, pretty. What was her name? Haley.
None of this helps me. What did he teach you? Let's start there.
And at this point, Leech intervenes. Now, I don't think we should be giving them everything. Still need to make use of this.
Let me rephrase that question. Tell me what he taught you, and we won't have any problems. You and me and her can walk out all nice like. Leech, you can stay here because frankly I don't like you. You interject when not spoken to, you're annoying, and you need to learn your place.
My place is dancing amidst the chaos. In time you'll understand. But you know what? For now, I think you're right. I think I'll take my leave. And as you watch Leech's eyes kind of roll back into her head and she starts chanting just a little bit, this deep, growly, guttural chant. And within split seconds, it's like the earth opened up around her, almost like it was torn open. And you see a black and white vista of some odd landscape behind her. And she just steps back with a smile, and it closes in on her. And at this point, Danielle's panicking. But she can't look away from Chance.
Now, like I said, us 4 gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna make a phone call. And we're gonna get all of this mess sorted out. Okay?
don't think that's a good idea. Now that she's gone, oh, shoot. And the thing that was Liza, you can see it's sort of making some juddery movements as it like starts to walk towards you. And as it moves, you can see a knife gripped in its hand.
Is she alive anymore?
Yes, but no. That's not her anymore. Oh, shoot. Leech was controlling her.
Don't.
Go ahead and roll that.
It just adds my presence to intimidation rolls. Attacking me requires resolve and composure and difficulty 2.
Okay. Okay. So this thing that was Liza, when you throw up Daunt, it seems to take no notice of it.
It's probably looking at a chance
cowers.
But
Danielle cowers away from you, but this thing, it's just making its slow, shuddery movements. Knife gripped tightly in its hand.
Chance just kind of, okay. And he will activate lethal body if that's going to help, because he just fully expects this thing to come and try to like stab him, but will not actively make the first move.
Layla will pull the firearm out and kind of hold it at the ready. Doesn't really want to fire it down here.
And as the thing that was Liza gets closer to you, Chance, go ahead and roll me either Wits and Insight or Wits and Awareness.
I like Wits and Insight a whole lot better.
Okay, go for it.
That would be 3.
Okay, so as she gets closer, you can see that her eyes are vacant. There is nothing behind them, as if the whole personality, the whole spirit of her has been just snuffed out, and something is like puppeting her movements. And as you get closer, you can see what you thought in passing was a tattoo is now a symbol carved into her neck.
Okay. Chance is still going to just wait until she goes to strike and then make sure that he does not get hit by some sort of redirection.
Okay. And as you expect, the lurching form of Liza raises the hand with the knife and makes to slash at you. Go ahead and make your dodge roll.
He's not actually, like I said, fully going to dodge. He's going to basically try to like grab the arm and like throw her to the ground.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's see. That's strength and brawl.
Yes.
Okay.
Hot damn. 7 on a crit.
Okay, that definitely wins. You do manage to grapple the arm and shift your weight along with hers, and she's already so clearly unsteady that she just falls over to the side.
And Chance will basically just kind of like try to make sure the knife's gone out of her hand, and then kind of look at Layla and figure out what best course of action do you think is going to have.
Layla will kick the knife behind her so it does not go towards Danielle. And then does Chance have the hands like pinned together or anything like that, or?
I would assume he's got one kind of down at the side and the other one's kind of free to do something. But he can absolutely get them pinned together.
Yeah, she'll like pull off her belt or something to go to strap it.
Okay. Go ahead and Dex and Athletics. I guess because her form is going to be fighting this, not with any semblance of deafness or anything like that, but she is fighting. Tie goes to the active kindred.
Thank God.
It takes a little bit of struggling, but on both parts you do manage to subdue the mindlessly shambling corpse that was Liza, and Danielle is just standing there, frozen and terrified.
Yep, we're gonna bind that as best as we can, and we can, I don't know, have Ted subdue her past that.
I assume we're probably going to try to just like toss her in the trunk and like Danielle up the stairs or up the ladder into the car. We're going to go talk to some people.
Danielle just kind of stiffly nods. You can see a lot. You can see what little fight there was in her. What very, very little fight there was in her has drained very quickly on seeing you subdue that thing.
Drop don't, by the way.
When you do, something kind of eases in her shoulders a little bit, but she's still very, very quiet as she makes her way back up.
Ted, toss that in the trunk.
And he picks up the still squirming form of Liza and
Don't
nods
let it
and
bite you. You don't know what you'll get from it.
kind of hard to get something from something that's already dead when you're also already dead.
We don't know what it is.
Danielle kind of sighs and turns around. It's a Fomori.
Does that mean anything to Layla?
Go ahead and give me intelligence and occult. Do you have any specializations in occult?
Nope.
Okay.
3.
You've heard it mentioned before. It's a thing, something about evil spirits, but you're not entirely sure what it is.
I don't think that's good, but not my main concern.
No. Main concern is getting this to Killian.
Yes.
Speaking of, Danielle, you got a phone around here?
There's one in the leasing office. Door stays unlocked because there's a lot of maintenance people that go at odd hours.
All right. I'm going to give the hotel a call. Just have them tell Killian to meet us probably around back. Wherever would be fitting for this.
Yes, I will pull around and wait for you.
Thank you. And sure enough, Chance will run to the leasing office, make that call. And if given any instruction, we'll relay that to Layla.
Killian will, in fact, ask you to meet him around the back of the hotel and instruct you to come in through the service entrance.
I'll let her know.
Layla is going to follow the rules of the road to the letter to not get pulled over here.
You do just fine. No one stops you, no one pulls you over.
Then pull around back.
As you
headway
pull
with the
around-
car.
What do you instruct Danielle to do?
Come with us.
She looks very reluctant to get out of the car.
I will compel her if I need to.
You
Layla
will
will
need
just
to.
turn around and give her a look. You will come with us. So activate Daunt again.
Okay.
All right, give me just 1 second.
Getting
I gotta
pushed
grab
in,
the.
pushed in one direction, pulled in the other.
All right, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah, can we
Right.
have locked up the apartment as we left?
Oh yeah, totally.
5 and a crit for compel.
I was gonna say between that and the daunt, Danielle will kind of flinch and quietly follow you out of the car and into the back of the hotel.
And Layla will be right behind her, dropping Daunt eventually.
As you make your way back through the service entrance, you're very quickly escorted by the local staff into the wide service elevator that immediately takes you down into a back entrance to the bar area. And when you go down there, you see Killian still at his post by the bar, but this time he's talking with someone you don't recognize. They're clearly a Nos. Definitely got the slightly gnarled and pinched facial features with large gray eyes. And the messed up phone that you recovered from the burnt out warehouse is sitting on the bar between the two of them. And as you approach, Killian turns and looks at you. So what'd you find?
Something that is still in my trunk.
He looks confused at you first, and then he notices Danielle standing behind you. I'm assuming there's a good reason you actually brought Danielle back.
Well, there's a couple of reasons. She got some information that we weren't able to extract. I feel like you and all of your normal friends can probably do that a whole lot better than we can.
Killian kind of narrows his eyes, and Danielle freezes. She is actively shaking at this point. She's just mind-numbingly terrified. Yeah, I got some people who might fancy a talk with her, depending on what we got.
Well, I think you will very much want the information that she has. I am fairly certain she was working with a lupine.
As well as I think she made a reference to a Haley that has anything to do with anything.
And some out-of-town Tremere. Tremere from out of town.
Killian kind of frowns at that and swivels back to the Nos seated at the bar stool next to him. Hey, Alan, what did you say the name on that phone was? And the Nos kind of leans back around Killian and in a very quiet, raspy voice. The name we got from it was Haley. No last name. Tell him what else we found on the phone. Pinged the last call that it made. It was moving north. It was just outside Gary.
Well, that's fun.
How much you know about Gary?
It's a shithole.
Not that Killian snorts while you're not wrong.
No, there's issues there, but that's kind of it.
The Sabat shithole, to be more precise.
Oh.
After Prince Paladin Hardass took control of Chicago and everything went down at Detroit, they fled and Gary was the middle meat.
Well, it sounds like we were hosting some Sabat then. Or someone on their way to them.
Wouldn't surprise me. See what you got in your trunk.
Head up and out.
Killian will follow.
There's no one around, right?
Just you guys, Danielle, the Nos, and Killian.
Pop the trunk.
The Nos Alan kind of leans his head around Killian. What is that?
He called it the Fomori. It has something to do with spirits.
Oh, shoot. Alan kind of gives Danielle a look. What are you doing with a Fomori? Those take years to make. And Danielle kind of shuffles awkwardly. She wants to say it, but she also doesn't want to say it. But after a minute, she kind of blurts out, He taught me to erase them, and that made it faster.
Erase them.
Yeah, there's an old... I was never taught it originally because they didn't trust me. I get why, but ever heard of tabula rasa? It's a pretty powerful trick. It takes a lot out of you, though. Yeah, apparently you can totally erase a person, rewrite them from scratch. Makes the usually Fomori, from what I've been told, they take years to make. Gotta find a person with the right temperament, under the right settings, and introduce them to the right spirit. With tabula rasa, it made it so much faster.
You built your own.
Yeah, I guess we did.
Now, the issue I'm seeing here is why? What was the point? You and Leech doing this together.
I'm fucked anyway, in for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. What do you know about the guru?
Less than you, apparently.
And you? And she looks at Chance.
Know about swamp dogs, and that's about it.
The guru mystics keep their secrets very close to the chest. In most cases. However, there's a certain cut of guru that are a little bit more tolerant of us worm spawn than the others. Called the Black Spiral Dancers. Found one by chance. Leech. She offered me knowledge in exchange for my services. Considering I'd been trying to get in with the guru for a very long time, I thought that was my chance.
Don't you know when to leave well enough alone? Certain things, and he points at the trunk, shouldn't be messed with. Period. Just because you can does not mean you should.
But how do you discover what you should or should not do? Gotta test it out.
I'm pretty sure this one was self-explanatory.
Agreed.
For being smart as a clan, y'all are dumb as hell.
Danielle just kind of sighs.
One can't keep proper records. You decide to go do this crap. I'm sure there's other ones out there that decide that they're gonna try to figure out how to harness the sun or some bullcrap. Just because you can does not mean that you should. Use your brain. And we all live more in peace. Not gonna say happily ever after, because that ain't gonna happen. But
with less issues than this causes.
Oh. Trust me, this is the least of your worries.
Well, I suggest you start spilling what you know.
What if I could, but all I know is If you really look around this town, it's not nearly as nice and tidy as Prince Hargraves likes to think it is. I'm sure you'll discover that in time if you haven't already.
If you don't have any more information to give, sounds like you've outlived your usefulness. Although I suppose that is up to Killian.
Killian arches an eyebrow. And as you watch, something absolutely feral takes over his face. His fangs grow just a little bit and his eyes glow just a little bit brighter in the low light. And Danielle suddenly gets very quiet again. And Killian growls out, I can think of a few uses for her, even if it's not for information.
Look, Danielle, you do still have a use.
Look at you.
And in that instant, you can see Danielle weighing her options. She's shifting restlessly.
And Chance, don't be stupid. More stupid.
And Killian looks around. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And he grabs Danielle around the back of the neck and, like, frog marches her back inside the hotel.
Layla will turn to the Nos if he's still there.
Mhm.
What do I do with this?
Oh,
Points to the Fomori.
yes, that is going to be an issue, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you have access to a disposal team? If you don't, I can wrangle that.
Probably not
Yes.
one that can handle this.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Far be it for me.
If I can just use a phone real quick, give them a call, see if this is something they'd be willing to handle.
Oh, yeah, sure. And Alan will actually pull out a burner flip phone out of his pocket. It looks about 10 years out of date. Don't worry, it's secure. Wouldn't have it if it wasn't.
Kind of chuckles a little bit and dials Martin's number.
Hey, what's up, boss?
Cancel that research order I got for you.
Oh, but we just... Okay.
Found her. It's no big deal. However, I've got a pig that needs to be disappeared.
Living or not?
This one's still squirming around a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can manage something.
I can probably put it out of its misery for you before you get here.
Yeah, if you can manage that, that'd make it a little bit easier on our end.
All right.
Don't forget to clean. Unless... She'll turn to Alan. Unless you guys want to clean the apartment.
Now, Alan just kind of... If you guys are taking care of the body, I suppose it's only fair that we assist. We'll handle the apartments.
All right. Yeah, I'll take care of it. and come around the back of and gives the name of the hotel. We'll load it in trash bags or a trash bag, and you can do what you need to with it.
All right. Will do. Need anything else?
Not right now. I'll talk to you when I get back.
Okay. Do you need us to have a meal prepped for you?
I'm okay, actually. But thank you.
Good to hear. All right. We'll see you when you see you.
Absolutely. And we'll close the phone and hand it back.
Yes. Thank you. I don't believe we've met. Seen you around.
I don't believe we have met. Chance.
Alan Hargraves. And he sticks his hand out.
And we'll actually shake his hand. Nice to actually meet you then. And he will hoist Liza out of the trunk, and he will unceremoniously do his best to dispatch her as quickly and cleanly as possible.
Okay. Go ahead and give me either strength in athletics or strength in melee, depending on what you're going for.
Just one real good strong smack, like the back of the neck.
Okay.
Probably with his hand.
Okay, go ahead, strength and brawl then.
I got one. But I have lethal body, so yeah.
Yeah. So she squirms around a little bit and it takes a couple hits, but you do eventually put her out of her misery.
In a minute.
You are surprisingly hands-on.
In Texas, you kind of have to be a little bit.
Alan kind of chuckles a little bit.
Forgive me, Layla. And she'll reach out to shake his hand.
Alan will shake it. Ah, you must be Mr. Ten's protege.
Yes.
He's been bragging about you for weeks.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a venture for you.
Always bragging.
Finding something to brag about, yes.
I wouldn't know.
Of course not. Well, now that we've been formally introduced, if you ever have any technological needs, please feel free to seek me out, since you are apparently working for my dear sister in some capacity.
I will endeavor to not need that sort of expertise.
I like that answer.
As she said, hopefully I'll never need you, but if I do, I will absolutely get a hold of you one way or another.
He kind of sits back and appraises you guys. I think you guys will do well here. Without another word, he'll turn and walk back into the hotel.
That was an interesting experience.
Am I the only one curious as to why he turned out a Nos and Prince has been true?
Extremely.
That's the worst reward I've ever seen.
Maybe it was not a reward for him, but for someone else.
Still. By the way, at least he's got a use.
Having an inn is good.
And at least is accepted, right? Because we all really just want to be accepted. And apparently
Yes.
you're a little prize jewel. That's what I'm
Apparently.
hearing.
As I said, I've been here a while. I'm surprised it's only a recent thing, if anything. Done to merit that.
Been a good little worker bee.
Apparently.
Unfortunately, I've seen enough of us. When we get older, that's really all we care about. When we're young, that's really what we care about too. But when we're older, it's even worse.
You almost sound jealous, Chance.
No, I don't get jealous.
As you stand outside the hotel talking, you notice the sky is starting to fade from that deep midnight blue to slightly lighter. You can feel dawn approaching. Still got about an hour or two.
Will your people be here before the sun rises?
I should be here relatively soon.
Do I need to find another way home?
You're fine. You go. They'll take care of me.
I almost feel bad for leaving you here.
No. Not something you gotta worry about.
Well, swing by whenever.
When I get a chance, I will.
Step into the car and drive away.
And as you are pulling out of the hotel parking lot, you do in fact pass what looks like a work van pulling in right up to where Chance is standing.
And unceremoniously stuffs the body into a lawn trash bag and enters the vehicle.
All right. And as you do, the guys immediately start talking amongst themselves about what to do with the body. One of them mentions dumping it in the concrete that they're pouring for the security house just outside the facility. Someone talks about just lighting a bonfire and being done with it.
No, what you need to do, and he'll actually go through the entire process of like how to get rid of a body chemically. Because I feel like that's just something he just kind of knows how to do.
Yeah, I'll just give you that one. Absolutely. And as you talk, the guys are The guys are kind of impressed and nodding along.
I didn't go to school for nothing. And I haven't gotten
boss.
And I haven't gotten where I'm at for nothing.
Those not.
I do have somebody to look into.
Oh.
And I need you to look into my new friend. Want to know everything that you can find out about her. Just do it in the absolute most discreet manner you can.
All right, boss. So
And
we can dig up.
If you need to dig way back into your contacts, by all means, go ahead and do that.
All right. Any other conversation to take care of on your way back?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So you make it back to your establishment. The guys shuffle off with the bag to follow your instructions, curious to see how well it goes. Anything else you want to do before the night's out?
Check to see if the dogs have any scraps of clothing.
Okay. So just go ahead and roll me a d6. Tell me what you get.
A 4.
Okay. So, it's been pretty quiet this evening. It seems one of the dogs did manage to snatch what looks like maybe the corner of an old bandana from some punk kid.
Good start.
Like black and white bandana.
Good start. We'll give them probably like a ham bone or something. Like a beef knuckle or something. I don't know. Just an actual, like, legitimate reward.
And the dogs gnaw at it excitedly.
Then he will get ready for bed.
Okay. Layla, anything you would like to do? Any side stops you would like to make? Any business to take care of?
She has gotten Chance's last name, right?
I don't know, Chance. What'd she have?
Yes. Multiple times.
Okay.
He would swing by to potentially talk to her contact in the police.
Okay.
And ask for whatever they could find on Chance.
Okay. So you swing by the police department and they greet you the usual pleasantries. And when you ask for Chance, they're kind of frown. If I've heard that name before, let me look. And after a few seconds, doesn't seem to have an arrest record.
It's fine. It doesn't
want me
have
to
to
do
be
any
tonight. But anything you could find would be nice.
Okay.
I'm having
Might take me a little.
have a great deal of contact with him now.
All right. I'll see what I can find. Might take me a little bit, but I'll see what I can find.
No rush. She's curious too. And then she heads home, reads and preps for the day.
Your prep is uninterrupted. There are no thin figures leaning against the desk at the entrance. No one stops you. A couple passing greetings from some of the early morning workers that just got in, but
Yeah, she'll have a few conversations with people who are there, but she pretty much makes pretty quickly to her room.
okay. And without much preamble, both Layla and Chance and Ted, wherever he is,
Yeah, we just kind of left
into the
Ted.
day sleep. He has his ways of getting home.
Yeah, I'm sure he just kind of wandered off at some point.
And that is where we shall close it for the evening.
So, some announcements because, yeah. If you're still here with us on Twitch, we appreciate you. If you're not and you're finding us somewhere else, we would like you to join us on Twitch. If you want to find that link, there's a link tree somewhere in the description, beginning and middle somewhere. I don't know exactly where. That has all of the links to all of our things, socials, YouTube, Twitch, Discord. We have a Discord server that we would absolutely like to see you join, as well as a Patreon. If that's something that you wanted to do, that would be wonderful. If it's something you don't want to or can't, next best thing that we can ask you to do is like, subscribe, follow, all of the things that you may or may not want to do. But you should do, because that would be nice. And we like nice people here. Contrary to what we just showed. And then also on the link tree, there is a Dice affiliate link that goes to dicelegion.com. You get a certain percentage off. We get some of the money that you spend. They get to move some dice. Everything from actual dice to dice trays to stickers, keychains. I think they've got dice towers, a couple of them. Not 100% sure on that one, though. Saw them on there a couple weeks ago. I don't know if they sold out yet. So, yeah. It's pretty much everything. Join us on Tuesdays and Sundays on Twitch for our various games. The next one being Blood and Hope Detroit, which Faye runs, and that's just a hoot of a time.
Yeah, the next one will be fun.
Yep. And then next Sunday is going to be Life and Blood Lena that I run, which that should be fun. Lighthearted and fun, because we've had a lot of very heavy moments in that particular game and we need a break. And then the following Tuesday after that is going to be our Hunter game that we don't have anybody that's excited for. That
I'm
game.
definitely not looking forward to being in Michigan.
Not at all.
Yeah, so that's our upcoming concrete schedule. Thursdays are a kind of freestyle. We kind of do what we want to do, but we're usually on at least two of us. So come join us for those too. So yeah, that's the thing. That's pretty much all the announcements. Potential spoilers ahead for our after game talks. So if that's something that you want to do, cool. If it's something that you don't want to do, adios. Goodbye. Have a good evening. We appreciate you being here. But if you do, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Potential spoilers?
Yay, spoilers.
Hey, spoilers.
I love Layla's and Chance's dynamic. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes. To the face. Yeah, I'm going to work with you. Behind the back. Fuck you. I don't like you. And it's not really I don't like you. It's just I don't trust you.
Yes, as it should be between kindred, let's be honest.
It's so beautifully Camarilla.
That's especially since Bruja in the Camarilla and Ventru.
Bruja's got the patronage of the Ventru Primogen.
Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like I planned that on purpose.
That's cool. You like Layla's I'm not going to go out of my way to introduce you?
Yeah.
I don't see a reason to yet.
And you like Chance's retort of, yeah, let's not do anything to get you kicked out.
Yep.
Because piss him off. Watch what happens.
Because what?
Because piss him off. Watch what happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You are expendable, basically.
Yeah, well, someone might have an ear of a Primogen if they play it right, so you know.
Yeah, as long as you stay in his coterie.
Oh, I don't mean you. You mean in her coterie.
No.
And then there's Ted just doing whatever in the background.
Ted is him.
Yes. Hello. Yes, this coterie is a fantastic dynamic. Also, we need a name.
I'm sure that will come soon. All I can think of is that opening scene from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where the two of them are fighting over who's going to be the leader, and then the third guy's just like, "Okay, I'm with you, fellas."
Kind of.
Layla will let Chance be the leader of it. She won't have to fight that. But she's gonna be dogging his steps like she did kind of today.
He was trying to be nice. He wasn't nice, but he was trying to be nice.
She's got good manipulation and all of that, but she's gonna be very blunt when she doesn't have to be. Like, when she doesn't have to be manipulative. Also,
I have no idea.
The deadpanning, but not even deadpanning, because she legitimately doesn't see these things as jokes, cracks me the fuck up.
It's amazing.
I have 2 charisma, so I'm very much trying to play it as the person who just does not understand those social cues.
So I had one other comment that I was going to make, but I was like, I don't know. It's a little bit too on the nose at this point. And it was going to be another worker bee thing. Basically saying, like, you're no better than they are. But I was like, no, I'll keep that one myself.
Next time. Because you know we're going to be snipping at each other.
Oh, it'll be worker bee the entire time.
I am very curious as to why Tan has only recently started going off about her.
You're a good little worker bee.
Yeah. Just wait until you get dragged into the drama that she's part of. It's fine.
I'm a Ventru. I'm above that.
Hey, good luck getting the Primogen's ear.
I mean, I know the answer to that question. It just depends on whether you want the spoiler or not.
Have you met me?
Have you met me?
Well, you sometimes don't like spoilers.
Depending on what it is, this one seems harmless.
It's almost above the table, it's almost like his timing coincides with the opening up, the very recent opening up of, oh, I don't know, the Keeper of Elysium spot.
No.
Interesting.
No way.
It's almost like by whatever praise you get gets redirected to him as well.
Of course, as it should be.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Also, you like how he conveniently is the one that tries to talk more to, like, the important people. For whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I wonder.
Not doing that on purpose, I promise.
Sure.
Not at all. No, never.
But also,
Don't you talk to important people?
Got her own contributions. It's fine.
Yes, snarky comments and unintentionally funny moments. Among others that are actually, like, legitimately useful.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know if you're trying to do that intentionally or not, but the unintentional humor is great.
Well, that's... Yes, like I said, it's trying to play into the 2 charisma where she doesn't think it's humorous. Like, to her, she's just answering questions.
Yeah.
Like the spectrum of autism that just does not understand the social cues when people say, like, you've got to be kidding me. The people who legitimately think they're being, because that's a thing. That's kind of the direction it has taken.
Makes sense. At least to me.
And not fully, but I feel comfortable enough portraying things like that without it coming across as unknowledgeable.
I wonder why.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I do enjoy it personally, so.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
It's
hard to not break character sometimes.
And this is a legitimate question, am I doing Texas frat boy good enough?
Oh, good lord, yes.
Good.
I didn't date Texas frat boy, but I dated Texas boy before, so yes.
Okay. As long as I'm doing that good enough, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Self-important asshole. Woo!
Yep. I'm gonna need to head off here in about 5 minutes. So any last questions for me?
No.
So many, but not that I'm willing to ask here. And not
Okay.
that I'm willing to ask right now, because they are absolutely going to be spoilers. And I want to figure out more about your story.
Yeah, despite it having been so long, this is only the second actual game, so kind of trying to judge things.
Makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
I'm very curious as to what the next thing is going to be to pull this together, though. Not asking for an actual answer.
Alan's going to be like, certain farm just blew up. Go figure it out.
Oh, good lord. I hope not.
I mean, I can piecemeal it together.
I've got one technology.
Me too.
I've got 4 dice to roll.
Me too. Oh my god.
We could probably maybe figure it out.
Ted, sit in the corner. Okay.
Go read us the instruction manual.
Yeah, don't touch literally anything or we'll kill you.
Yeah. I wish Nen was here. He would have had fun.
Yes.
Then we miss you. Come back to us.
But anyway, I don't have any other questions.
Not right now.
So with that, I guess we are going to sign off a little bit before midnight Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. And I'm not doing the rest of the math because I don't want to. So everyone have a good night or the rest of your morning or whatever time it is for you, because, you know, time zones are weird. So yeah, stay safe. Happy travels.